Welcome to today's class. So today we're going to be working through a ladder flow or a pyramid flow where we're going to start with a few poses and add on to the flow as we go. So mainly focusing on lower body, a little bit of upper body opening and some balance work, about a 20-minute flow or so. So just coming to sit on your mat and taking a comfortable cross-legged position or kneeling, and we'll take a short warm-up. So just to start with, see if you can bring yourself as quickly as you can into this space. So if you've been rushing the rest of your day, or maybe it's the first thing in the morning, you have other things on your mind, whatever the case may be, see if you can use the breath right now. So closing down the eyes and just taking 3 really conscious breaths. Inhale through the nose, exhale through the nose. One. 2, nice and slow. And 3, beautiful. See how quickly we can come into the space by using the breath. And you can use that at any time during your day to really center yourself and just try and get a handle back on your stress or any anxiety that you're feeling. Let's start to move. So taking the hands out in front of you, pressing the palms together into a prayer position, into a hands together. And then exhale, driving the elbows towards each other. Inhale, expand out through the chest. One more like this. Lovely, hands coming down. Let's take a little side bend. Taking the arms up to a cactus shape and start to tilt over towards the left. Holding here. Back through center and tilt over the other side. So thinking about grounding down through the opposite hip here. Nice and strong through the arms, back through center, over to the first side. This time hand comes down, arm comes over, press firmly down with that left hand into the mat. Let's sweep the arms through the front and coming into the other side. Reaching with that top arm, pressing down firmly with the bottom hand and back through center. Beautiful. Hands come to the knees. Taking a little twist, taking the left fingertips behind, right hand to the left knee, and just take a gentle twist. No need to reef yourself around as hard as you can, just gently applying some traction. Sweep the arms to the front and taking the other side. Beautiful. Back through center. Let's rock over onto the knees now. So just coming into kneeling position. And again, let's take the right hand behind, this time sweeping the left hand up, but opening out through the chest now. Inhale. Exhale, coming down and moving to the other side. Really reaching up. And coming back down. Beautiful. Rocking over onto the hands and knees as we prepare to start our flow. So here, nice and firm, grounding down through the hands and the knees. Let's take the right leg back to start. Move a bit further forward here. Right leg back, tapping the top of the foot onto the mat. We're going to try and lift that foot off the mat, just avoiding dumping too much into the lumbar spine. So we're keeping a nice tuck through the tailbone there. Feel the core engage, the glutes engage, and stability through the other limbs. Okay, from here, we're going to bend that knee and then see if you can step that foot all the way to the outside of the right hand. It might take a couple of steps to get it there. And then walking that foot closer into the center. Taking the left hand down onto the mat, reaching the right arm up into a twist. Beautiful. Bringing that hand down, and then we're going to open out so the right hand comes to the inside of the right foot, and we're opening out into a modified side angle here. Strong through the legs, focusing on that inhalation and exhalation, nice and even and slow, and coming back down, taking the hands to frame the foot. Beautiful. From here, we're going to start to come up into that lunge. Inhale here and exhale, just starting to explore the depth. You might want to walk that right foot a little further forward. Feel free to prop something under the knee for any padding if you need a blanket or a towel or anything there. So as we deepen into the lunge, we don't want to lose all control. So we're not completely just falling down into the lunge. Nice and controlled, hips square, chest proud. Beautiful. Starting to rock back, straightening through the front leg, and starting to fold slightly forward over that leg. You might like to take blocks and lift the floor up towards you, or just keeping the hands on the hips. Beautiful. Lunging back into that leg. Hands come down. Walk that right foot out to the edge and taking it back to all fours. Just rocking back into a active child's pose. Toes are tucked. Coming back to our all fours and preparing for the left side. Left leg taps the floor, starting to lift, but being mindful of that form there in the lower back. So keeping a little tuck in the tailbone. Let's bend that knee and stepping that foot forward. Beautiful. Walking it in a little bit closer to the center. Right hand stays down, left hand lifts into that twist. Beautiful. Hand comes down, left hand to the inner edge of the left foot and opening up. That back toe can be tucked or the foot can be flat along the floor. Beautiful. Coming all the way down, starting to come up into that lunge position, keeping the hips nice and even, and then starting to deepen your way a little bit further into the lunge. Using the breath here. The breath can be the first thing to go when we're really focusing on a pose or a movement. And especially if there's some intensity there, we can tend to hold the breath. Really use the breath here to get the most out of the movement. Beautiful. Starting to rock back, straightening through the front leg. Hands to hips, hands to blocks. If you wanted to come to the floor, feel free. But we're doing a few rounds of this, so you can add on some intensity as we go. For this first round, you might like to keep it just gently starting to come into these poses. Let's rock forward back into that lunge. Hands come to the floor, walking that foot out and all the way back to all fours. Walking the hands in, coming into this kneeling position. And we're coming back to that chest opener. Right hand down. Open out through the chest. And coming back through center and opening out to the other side. And coming back down. Back out to all fours. Okay, either repeating from the knees, or if you'd like to add on, we're going to tuck the toes and prepare to come into downward facing. Lift the knees just a few centimeters off the mat. Find that activation through the core, through the shoulders, through the hands. Just being mindful we're not locking the elbows. We want a little bit of a micro bend and then send the hips back. Keep the knees bent for now. Feels really nice, and then we get that length through the spine. Lovely. Okay, right leg first. Right leg lifts, bending through that knee, and let's step it all the way, if we can, between the hands. You might need to take a few steps to get there. Coming straight into our twist. Left hand down, right arm comes up. Beautiful. That hand comes down, preparing for side angle. Either keeping the hand down, or you might like to come up onto the thigh. Forearm to the thigh. Or keeping the hand down here, inner or outer edge of the foot. That back foot turns and plants, or you can stay up on the ball of the foot. Beautiful. Hands come down. Coming up to crescent lunge. So we're on the ball of the back foot. Open out through the chest. Nice and strong through the legs. Okay. Hands come down, either to the floor or to the hips. See if you can stay up on the ball of that back foot as we straighten the front leg and start to tip forward. You might like to try flying the hands out to the side. And if you'd like to add on a little bit more of a challenge for balance, see if you can lift the toes of that front foot. Beautiful. Plant back down, back into that crescent lunge. Plant the hands, and we're stepping all the way back, one-legged, downward facing. Plant that foot down, drop to the knees, active child's pose. Rocking back up to downward facing, left side. Left leg lifts, bend the knee, stepping it all the way through. Remember, you can always use one hand to bring the foot through if you need to. Right hand down, coming into the twist. Left arm comes up. Nice and strong here. Not too much weight on that hand, on the bottom hand. Hand comes down, coming into side angle, down here, or plant the back heel, coming up onto the thigh. Nice and strong through the legs. Nice work. Coming forward. Coming up into our crescent lunge. Open out through the chest. Avoiding flaring the ribs too much, so even though we're coming into a little bit of a back bend, we're still maintaining that stability through the core. Beautiful. Okay, hands to hips, staying up on the ball of that back foot. You might need to shorten the stance a little bit. See if you can straighten through the front leg. To add on, arms come flying out. And then maybe lifting the toes. Beautiful. Coming back through that lunge. Framing the foot. See if you can lift that knee into the chest, sending it back, one-legged downward facing, taking that foot down, drop the knees, walking all the way back to kneeling. And we're going to open out the chest, right hand behind. This time you might like to lift the hips up as well, optional. Coming down, take the other side. Notice that the breath may have increased. So your respiratory rate has come up a little bit. See if you can just calm it down. Find that equal inhalation and exhalation. And then we're rocking forward back onto that all fours. Coming back into downward facing. Right leg lifts. Bend the knee. Step it forward if you can, all the way through. Beautiful. Open out into that twist. We're moving a little bit more quickly now. This time, you might like to come up into a revolved twist. Reaching back, perhaps holding onto the thigh. You can stay here. Windmill the arms all the way down, and we're coming back into that side angle pose. Might like to come up. Beautiful. Coming all the way back out. Sweeping the arms, crescent lunge. Cactus the arms, open out through the chest. But again, avoiding to completely flare through the ribs. Arms come up and then open out. Beautiful. This time we're adding on once more, coming into warrior three, getting springy through the back foot. See if you can step up into warrior three. Hold here. Sweep that leg forward and up into a standing balance. Staying here, or try and straighten through that front leg. Nice work. Bending through the knee, back through warrior three. Lots of wobbles and shakes. Step it back. If you fall over, just come back in. We'll try not to take ourselves too seriously here. Hands down. Knee to the chest if you can. Stepping it back. One-legged downward dog. And that foot comes down. Knees down. And back to our active child's pose. Just one more side to go. Coming back up. Left leg lifts. Bend the knee. See if you can step it all the way through. See if you can do it without lifting that left hand. Even if it means it comes a little bit shy, and then you've got to wiggle it forward. Beautiful. Right hand down. Left arm comes up into the twist. Optional, coming up into the revolved twist and perhaps taking it back. If we're coming here, just avoiding coming out of the lunge, want to maintain that depth. Beautiful. Sweeping the arms all the way back into side angle. Sweeping the arms. Open out into crescent lunge. Arms come up. Exhale. Open into cactus. Preparing to add on. Reaching forward. Springy through the back foot. Coming all the way up if you can to warrior three. Lots of wobbles and shakes. Bringing that leg through. Knee comes up. Hands can come to hips or stay here. The knee can be lower if this is not happening today. Or we add on, straighten through that foot. Whoa. Bend the knee. Send it back. Step it back nice and slow if you can. Open out once more here. Plant the hands, knee into the chest. All the way back, one-legged downward dog. Plant that foot, drop the knees, back to kneeling. Last one, open out through the chest. Lift the hips if you like. Other side. Beautiful. Returning to all fours. Let's cool down with a few spinal waves here from the knees. Rocking back to that active child's pose. Rounding through the spine, tuck the chin. Coming forward. And then start to lengthen. And last thing to come up is the head. Beautiful, coming back. Tuck the chin, start to round through the shoulders, round through the back. Back to that active child's pose. And coming once more through that wave. And rocking back. Coming into child's pose. Let's take a little twisted child's pose. Taking the right hand out to the side. Left hand out as well, but coming onto the knife edge of that left hand. Grounding down through the left side. Back through center. Over to the left. Left hand out and coming onto the right knife edge of that right hand. Beautiful. Back through center. Coming all the way up to kneeling. Exhale. Either staying in the kneeling position or coming into a comfortable cross leg. Let's just take a short seated meditation to finish off. Hands can come over the heart, stay in the lap or to the knees. And just using that nice slow breath that we began with for 1. 2. 3. Just returning to your normal breath. Keeping the eyes closed. Beautiful. Taking the hands to heart center. Namaste. Thank you so much for joining me. Hope you enjoyed that little flow and see you next time. Bye.